Hello and welcome to the video. Today I just want to talk about some hints and tips that I've learned along the way. This is not a how-to video, I'm not a professional. I'm not going to cover everything, I'm just going to talk about the things that get overlooked, the things that are not always explained to you when you are learning to ride. Could be for experienced riders or new riders. Take the information as you will. So hopefully you'll stick around. If I've missed anything, you can drop a comment below if you can help others. So firstly, I want to start off with the centre stand, because this is often overlooked. Because my school bike didn't have a centre stand and I didn't really know the right technique for it. I've found the perfect technique is put your left hand on the handlebar, right hand on the pillion grab rail or the frame, and with your right foot push down as hard as you can. It's a vertical downward movement. At the same time, pull upwards with your right hand. So don't worry about doing the backwards motion. You should concentrate on pushing down to the ground and pulling upwards with your right hand. The stand is designed to do that backward movement for you as you push down. So to get it off the centre stand, you put your left hand on the handlebar, your right hand on the pillion grab rail, and gently pull forwards. But at the same time, keeping the weight towards you. Do not push away from yourself. So if it does fall, the bike can fall towards you. Because once it falls away from you, that's it. It's very easy to drop it. Another good thing to do as a new rider is familiarise yourself with your bike. Learn the tyre pressures, learn the chain maintenance schedules, check your oil, buy a manual for it. If you're not mechanically minded, make sure you know a mechanic that can regularly check your bike for you. It's very important to grease and adjust your chain approximately every 500 miles. It's often overlooked. So maintenance is very important as a new rider. Familiarise yourself with your own bike. So a good tip as well is always look at road signs. Constantly look at the speed limits, what's coming ahead, all the hazards that could be coming. Like as we approach this junction up here, we've got 2 warning signs. Just take them in so you know what's ahead. As I go along, I'm looking at the road, looking at the surface, looking what's ahead, looking at all the hazards, taking it in. Another good tip I've learned over the years, if you see a parked car in the distance you can't see behind, you can look underneath the car. You look at this pickup, I can see underneath that car. If there's someone standing there, I can expect possibly a child or someone to pull out in front of me, so I can brace myself. So although you can't see behind cars, you can see underneath them if there's shadows, just to make you aware that you could potentially expect a hazard to come. Also another tip is at junctions, you can see this car on the left here. I want to position myself right, far over as I can without going onto oncoming traffic so he can see me as soon as possible. If I position myself to the curb, then he won't see me until later on. It might be too late at that point. So I try and position myself central as possible, so I make eye contact with that person. So it's all about positioning, trying to make yourself visible, making eye contact with other drivers. Very important. Another good tip as well, choose your gear wisely. Make sure it has reflective strips on, get a bright helmet. You really want to make yourself visible when you're riding. This is why I ride with a white helmet. It stands out very well. Car drivers can often miss motorcycles, so you want to combat that with the best thing you can do and wear the brightest clothing you can. It's very important to have a cool, chilled attitude whilst riding. Don't respond to road rage. If someone's driving too close to you, just let them know, stick your hand out and just wave down towards the ground. Sometimes people don't realise they are driving close to you and they tend to back off. The worst thing you can do is stick your fingers up at shout abuse, so that will just escalate. Just have a chilled, calm attitude towards riding. It's always best to have smooth inputs with the throttle, and that goes for braking as well. Anything erratic can cause an erratic reaction. Accelerating too quickly could cause wheel slip, braking too hard could cause wheel slip. Should be very smooth with braking and throttling. So here we have plenty of junctions that someone could pull out in front of you, so I'm always aware that someone could potentially come from nowhere. Another important thing that's overlooked as well, when there's emergency services or a fire engine behind you flashing the lights, some riders get really intimidated and panic. Best thing you can do is just pull to one side and let them pass you. Just don't panic. It's best to just move over slowly and try and get out of the way where possible if it's safe to do so. So also, as a new rider, it's very important to know you have to lean on the bike. Weight positioning is very important. So as you're coming into a bend, you need to relax and shift your weight slightly. The more relaxed you are on the bike, the better your bike will handle. You shift the weight around the corner and accelerate out. It's always best to approach the bend slowly and accelerate round. Nothing worse than going too fast towards a bend. It's also very important when you're turning, just look once. You can see it's clear, then go. If you look too many times, that will throw you off and you might end up going on the other side of the road. Very important to look where you're going as well. If you're looking at things that you don't want to hit, you tend to end up riding towards it. So here we have national speed limit. Doesn't always mean you have to reach that speed limit, it's just a guide. So you can see there could be horses and pedestrians walking, so be very aware. We've got slow on the road, there'll be a sharp bend, there's some gravel in the middle. Try and position around the gravel, depending on going on the inside or the outside of the lane. I'm constantly looking at the road surface, drain holes, gravel, anything that could be in the road that could cause my wheels to slip. So as I'm passing junctions, I expect everyone to pull out in front of me. If you get that in your head, you can react more quickly if they do pull out in front of you. So when you're in traffic, it's always best to leave enough room in front of you. That gives you a chance to roll forward and get your feet on the pegs before you get going. So stop probably a bike length in front. That applies to when you're turning as well. If you're turning right into a junction and you're waiting on the opposite side of the road, just give yourself a bike length in front of you so you can roll straight, get your foot on the pegs and then turn in. So if I turn right now, I will stop just before the end of the junction, giving me enough room to roll forward and then turn in. Always leave extra room when there's vans in front of me. If you're too close to a van, you can't see what's happening ahead. So I just want to talk about dual lanes here. How important it is not to ride in people's blind spots. I always tend to look in their wing mirror, see if I can see their face. If I can't see their face in that mirror, I know they can't see me. So I'd either accelerate or slow down, so I position myself so I'm not in their blind spot. Right, so now I'm in their blind spot. I'm completely in their blind spot. I can't see their face, I can just see their hand in that mirror. So if I go forward a bit more, now I can see, which means they can see me. So do not cruise in people's blind spots. It's very important to limit your time you're in someone's blind spot. It's all about making yourself visible, making eye contact with drivers, wearing bright clothing, lane positioning, just so people can see you, making yourself seen. At the same time, taking in the road signs, looking at the road surface, have a positive, chilled attitude towards riding, smooth inputs on your throttle and braking, and you should have a good time motorcycling. So I've just seen a sign that says skid risk. As we can see, there's lots of gravel on the road, so I'm adjusting my speed accordingly, give me plenty of time to stop, smooth on the throttle, try to minimize my inputs to allow for smooth riding. It's always best to use your front brake when you're in a straight line and you want to stop quickly, but if you're turning, or if there's gravel or the loose terrain, really avoid using your front brake, especially on cornering. It's there if you need it, but avoid it. Well, that is the end of the video. Hopefully I've helped someone along the way. If I've missed anything, please comment below. I upload videos Wednesdays and Saturdays at 12 PM. It really helps me if you subscribe. Be able to make more content for you. Until then, I've been Nick, and I'll catch you on the next episode. Ride safe.